the better team won. We did a lot of good things, and we didn't finish the job, and that's what it is. I want them to feel all the emotions. I feel that too. So whatever they feel, that's real. That's what is competitiveness. That's what makes you better. That's what pushes you to continue to improve in the dark, long hours when nobody's around. And we improved a whole lot this year, and we still have a lot now, more motivation to continue to get better.
Former O'Day star Mitch Johnson, and he did a heck of a coaching job with the Spurs in his first full season in San Antonio, leading them to a 62-20 record, number 2 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. Boy, but if you're a Spurs fan, Softy, and you're looking at this action, even Mitch and the rest of those guys, he made some good points there, classy in the loss, but it had to be frustrating for Spurs fans to blow lead after lead during this series and eventually just fall over.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought if we're not going to sugarcoat this, and I don't know why we would, I mean, it was a choke job by the Spurs. It was a gigantic choke job by San Antonio. I mean, guys, you got a double-digit lead in all 5 games, and you lose 4 out of 5. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, there's going to be a point in time, and maybe some Spurs fans are there now where you look back and say, hey, man, we made the NBA Finals with Wemby. He was 22. We didn't even make the playoffs and went right to the NBA Finals, basically, in year number 1 as a postseason team. So from that perspective, it's great, right? From that perspective, it's all gravy. Kudos to Mitch Johnson for getting by the Thunder. Kudos to Mitch Johnson for winning what we thought was a superior conference in the West versus the East. But there's no way, if you're a San Antonio fan, you can't live in the moment for a couple of days and just kick yourself about blowing double-digit leads in 4 of those 5 games. Unbelievable. And look, I mean, the Wemby thing is really interesting to me because I think he was a guy that kind of went from a hero to a bit of a villain in the NBA Finals, you know, with his behavior and the way that he was talking smack during the entire series, the way that he talked to the media. My biggest question, guys, is if the Spurs would have won Game 5, would they have suspended him for Game 6 for that flagrant foul that wasn't called on the perimeter on Jalen Brunson? So the NBA kind of dodged a big bullet with that one. But yeah, this is pretty cool, I think, for the basketball world to see the New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden, Manhattan going crazy. First time in my life. I was negative 2 months when the Knicks won the NBA championship in June of '73, so I've never seen anything like this before. I know Paul had already graduated high school by the time the Knicks won the NBA championship in '73, but for me and Ariel, this is definitely new. So I think it's pretty cool for the NBA to have a team like that on top of the mountain.
Yeah, as soon as you made an age reference to yourself, I knew that you were going to drop the hammer on me on the next sentence.
All
of
day.
Course, there it is. So I deserve it. You're definitely right there. Listen, let's move ahead now to, and we talk about, excuse me, the NBA Board of Governors meeting in July. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, basically said if a decision isn't made by then about expansion, it could be made by the end of the year, Softy. And I think a lot of Sonics fans and basketball fans in Seattle are hoping that by the end of July, this Board of Governors meeting, they would all be all in on the expansion talk with Vegas and Seattle, and they can start pushing forward. But as it stands right now, there's still an outside shot that this doesn't get announced or they don't fully commit until the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys think. I guess my point is I'm sitting here right now on June 15th, and I would be fairly surprised if we did not know something concrete by the beginning of next NBA season in late October, if not earlier than that. I don't see this dragging on through the season. I don't see it dragging on through the end of the year the way Adam Silver said the other day. He's smart to give himself that timeline, smart to give the owners more time in case they do need it. You know, the one thing that struck me watching the trophy ceremony the other night is that goofy SOB James Dolan, who's the owner of the Knicks, right? The guy that looks like the Lucky Charms leprechaun. He's one of the guys that's going to be tasked with deciding whether or not the league does expand. And by all accounts, he's the one guy that's been kind of against this. He's the one dude that's been a bit of an adversary to Seattle's expansion hopes. So maybe he's in a better mood now, right? Because the Knicks won the NBA championship, and maybe he says, you know what, why not? Bring him on board, and let's go ahead and split that pie up, you know, by a couple more pieces. But I would actually, again, guys, be fairly surprised if we did not hear something fairly concrete by the start of next NBA season. So I think we got about 3 months, maybe 3.5 months before we'll know something.
and not just fairly concrete, but I think we should be fairly optimistic, because after that last exploration of expansion, that they had with that Adam Silver announced, it was pretty much all but saying there will be teams in Seattle and Las Vegas. It really kind of just needs to go through the bureaucracy of it all.
Yeah, it seems like all the expansion talk over the years, and when they bring up cities that have a chance to get a team, it seems like this time around, Vegas and Seattle just seem like no-brainers to the rest of us, Softy.
No question. I mean, where else would they go, right? They're not going to Mexico City. They're not going back to Louisville. They're not going to Vancouver, Canada, for crying out loud. So it's going to be Vegas or Seattle. And I think Ariel's right, and I agree with her. And I said that the minute this whole thing came down, when Todd Lewicki was on our radio program on KJR, and I asked him, look, man, I mean, you're the last guy that wants to goof around and play with people's emotions. Can Sonic fans start to get a little excited here? And he said yes on the air. So I think it's going to happen. I mean, again, I might be wrong. I might be eating my words by the end of the summer, and we may be heartbroken. In that case, then we're going to have a real problem. I think people are going to lose their minds if the NBA says no this time around. Because for me, and I get a little bit kind of, verklempt about this stuff, right? I don't want the older fans to have to wait any longer. We've already missed the window on Lenny Wilkins, guys like that, getting to see the Sonics come back. Gus Williams getting to see the Sonics come back. Mitch's dad, JJ, is not going to see the return of the NBA in Seattle. How many folks are out there with older parents, siblings, aging mothers and fathers that desperately want to see the Sonics return? And I think making them wait is a bad idea. So let's get this thing back as soon as possible.